Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Eden Zero Chapter 68. So, there's a lot to unpack with this chapter. Like, a lot. Um, First off, I think more than anything, this chapter nailed home that, yeah, Valkyrie is dead and not coming back, which, yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I pretty much commend Mashima for sticking to his guns, full stop on that one, but one thing I loved even more is how Mashima had handled the grieving process for the entire Eden Zero crew, and how it didn't sugarcoat it didn't sugarcoat it at all. Like it basically Mashima presented it in a way where he's basically telling us it doesn't matter whether you're human or machine in this world. Everyone goes through those same experiences and how and by the same token how life and death is very much part of that same cycle for it's very much part of the same cycle for machines just as it is for humans. The only difference being is that as pretty much brought up, that machines can be revived in a certain sense, but from, even from when revived, there's really no true coming back. Like when machines are brought back, they're brought back as pretty much someone who needs to restart their life over again. Pretty much is the thing, and Homura didn't want that. She just wanted to remember Valkyrie as she was. So she wanted to remember Valkyrie as she was, and the memory she had made with Valkyrie. So yeah, it's even though it kind of tore, even though it tore both Witch and basically Ivory and and of course even though it tore the Star Shines Up, you can it's just an understandable mindset to have, but like Homura, she just didn't want to bring back she she just didn't want to bring back pretty much Valkyrie in that sense. She wanted to, in order to hold on to who pretty much Valkyrie was, not who she not who she pretty much possibly could be. So yeah, I kind of commend her in that sense. Um, Now let's talk about the other thing here. About the other thing here with this, Homura, which is that Homura has pretty much declared that she wants to become the pretty much new Valkyrie and the new fourth Starshine in order to continue on with her master's legacy, in order to continue on with Valkyrie's legacy. And the reveal in itself is not the most surprising thing, as I kind of saw that as the next logical step if Mashima was to follow through with Valkyrie's death, with French Pino being the French next most likely candidate, which he did. Obviously, he followed through with her death. But one thing I'm curious about with this is that they talked about Homura being a non-mechanical starshine. So quite possibly, we're not going to see any modifications being done to her. So I'm fine with that. But the thing I'm wondering is that it? Just Homura declaring she's taking over for Valkyrie and we move on from here, or is there going to be some kind of initiation to it, or just something that's basically going to that's going to pretty much label her as a starshine? Like I'm just kind of curious of the process of how this is going to go, and and maybe I'm overthinking thinking it, but I and maybe I'm overthinking it, but yeah, I just have to assume there's a little more to becoming a starshine than pretty much just pretty much declaring yourself one. So, so yeah, than just being declared one or being granted the title or whatnot. But so yeah, I'm kind of curious if Mashima is going to expand on this at all. I'm hoping he does, even if it's just a little bit, because yeah, I would like to know what exactly the whole I just want to know what the whole system of how this works, how this is going to work, and maybe I'm overthinking it a little bit, but I assume there is I assume that there going to be is more to her becoming the new Valkyrie. And I assume that some of it probably lies with the data memories Ivory has stored away. But again, I don't know how that would. Again, I don't know how that would work in the whole process of basically of Homer remaining like a pretty much non-mechanized Starshine. So, but yeah, either way, I definitely want to. I definitely want to learn more about this, and hopefully next week we can that Mashima is gonna flesh out a little more of these details and what becoming a Starshine is all about. Honestly, yeah, I imagine there is gonna be a little bit of a. I imagine that there is going to be a little bit of an initiation in order for Homura to overdo or to go through or something for sure. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that. Again, I'm hoping Mashima does kind of expand on that a little bit on top, a little bit. And obviously, with me mentioning all this for the longest time, I was wondering about what. So with all this being mentioned, obviously the big thing about this chapter is that that pretty much is that Draken. Obviously, with me mentioning all this with Homura and the Starshines and whatnot. Obviously, this pretty much means what. Obviously, this means that we learn in this chapter that pretty much that nothing actually happened with basically Draken Joe and pretty much his attempt in order to commandeer the Eden Zero, which so yeah this actually kind of this chapter also kind of answered what happened with Draken Joe's plan to commandeer the Eden Zero, and in and with that, we also get the reveal in this chapter that he and his men were basically tricked by a hologram, which I can't lie, definitely leaves me feeling a little torn on that one. Because on one hand, I'm disappointed we never got to see the Starshines like from fighting against Dragon Joe and his men. But on the other hand, that also leaves a much better conflict waiting in the wings for the future. I guess the big thing about this though is that with Dragon Joe getting so easily tricked, it does kind of bring his basically competency into question. I mean, I'm pretty much far from basically saying from basically labeling him a dumbass or anything like that, but yeah, it's just one of those things where you kind of sit back and you question, how could you fall for a trick for a hologram trick, a simple hologram trick like that, like falling for a hologram is like one of the simplest tricks in the book. Effective, I guess, but it's like, really? A hologram is what tricked you? Really? I mean, on the flip side to that, it does show how strategic the Starshines are, but yeah, just in the fact that he got tricked by a hologram I think is disappointing to me, because in a lot of ways it was pretty much a completely pointless detour for him to take when he pretty much really could, when in reality he really could have had a much bigger part to play in the climax. So it almost feels like there was wasted potential or wasted opportunity there but again with that being said, with basically him saying, I think I know where they're going, that again it leaves open the hopes of something better, because I think it's more than obvious that Draken Joe is basically headed for the Sakura Cosmos. So yeah, like it's obvious that Draken Joe is definitely going to be we're going to be with we're going to see more of Draken Joe for sure. Although I will be honest. I hope even though Draken Joe is going to follow them probably to the Sakura Cosmos, I'm hoping we really dig deeper into who these other like pretty much seven like generals or the seven demon or the seven demon or the other six like demon generals are. Like, I really want to know who the other members of this group are for sure, and what they're, and yeah, I want to get more into that as well with Dragon Joe. With Dragon Joe's group, I want to know more about that for sure as well. And I hope I hope that Mashima is gonna finally like give us a lot more with that, with us moving on now. Um, Now, one major reveal, one interesting, but I feel still a major reveal we learn in this chapter is that the Starshines have been more or less free from their duty to the Eden Zero and Ziggy from the very beginning of the series, from the very beginning of like that pretty much since like pretty much Witch was that pretty much Witch was introduced, and how all of them up to this point have basically have joined Shiki and the others and come along with them willingly, which does put Hermit's situation a little bit more into context now. But at the same time, I almost wonder if this might be set up for the future, and how at some point Shiki might very well go it alone, or Shiki just kind of disbands the crew at some point, and the Starshines go their complete separate ways from the others, like from Shiki, Weiss, all them. So yeah, I wonder if that's how I wonder if yeah, that does kind of make you wonder if that's going to play out, if one of those situations is going to play out. Now with us learning that the Starshines aren't bound to the Eden Zero at all, or by any kind of duty. It also, one thing too that this does is that it really does kind of it really does kind of like put pretty much Valkyrie's actions up to the point of her death into greater context too, in the sense where it says she was that pretty much Valkyrie was that pretty much committed to pretty much Ziggy's cause, that she pretty much, that even though she was free from his, that even though she was free from that commitment, she still wanted to, that Valkyrie still wanted, in order to make in order to see like Ziggy's dream become reality. So yeah, dream become reality. So yeah, it'll be. I'm so yeah. It's definitely an interesting reveal that just gives a lot of context and everything we've seen thus far. Another thing with this chapter is that we learn that with basically Kurenai having been ousted as ruler of Sun Jewel, like the planet itself has already been reformed into a thriving democracy, which is definitely good to see. But I guess with the way this chapter played out, I suppose we can assume at this point that the ether metal was really just a plot point to arrive at this conclusion, which, again, is one of those things. I'm glad that Mashima stuck to his guns in keeping Valkyrie dead, but in context, the ether metals were kind of useless to the story, other than being that plot point. So, yeah, it's like I suppose that is I suppose that pretty much is the one thing I have to kind of be a little nitpicky about, is that the ether metals are the one thing about this arc that really just kind of fell to the wayside, which considering that the whole arc was kind of just based on like a mining, just labor mining, all that, it really shouldn't have been that way for me. But I don't know. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Illustrator Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.